Welcome back, guys. Well, it is a beautiful fall day and I'm out just sitting here by the shore in this park. I want to chat with you a little bit more about my channel. Stay tuned. A little while back I was tagged by PineMartyn, one of my good online YouTube friends, and it's called the 7 questions tag, and it's sort of all about your channel. I know I've had a lot of new fans on my channel over the last couple of months, and I know a lot of you have been around for a while since I've put this channel together and may want to know a little bit more about it. So that's what this video is about today. I'm going to answer a few questions and hopefully you'll get to learn a little bit more about this channel and why I started it and what I use to film and all that good stuff. Why did I start my YouTube channel? I started it because I was always out in the bush taking pictures, recording videos, and telling my friends what I was getting up to. And a lot of people give me positive feedback saying, this is really awesome, like I'd love to know what you do, but they really would have no other way of seeing what I did other than showing them pictures and stuff like that. I was watching YouTube since it began and I would see what other people were doing and I thought, I can do that too. I mean, people want to see what I'm up to. I have family sort of all over the world and they want to see what I'm up to. And why not? I'm already doing this anyways. It just requires a little extra skill set in order to do some video editing and to do some posting online. So basically that's when I decided, I'm going to do this. I'm going to jump in and do this. I'm going to show the world what I do. It's going to also be my legacy, my video journal of what I've been up to in my life. And it's been a lot of fun. So when did I start my channel? I started back in August of 2015. I was really, really nervous. I remember that day trying to put up that video. Basically it's called Chimney Swift Watch and you guys can go give it some love, go check it out. That's the very first video I ever posted. It's a little artistic. It was my adventure going to count chimney swifts for a group in Ontario that monitors how they're doing. They're getting more endangered because of the lack of chimneys that we have in the province, and that's where they nest and raise their young. So I was a part of a crew that went to count how many chimney swifts. In an hour we're going into one of these large stone chimneys. So check it out. It's a really short video. I think it was like 3 minutes. It was my first effort at editing and posting something online. I was really scared, but it did really well, and that was the beginning of the channel. So on from there, I started posting videos more regularly. I think I was going every couple of weeks for a while just to kind of get used to the editing software in those early days. And then I really started posting very soon after, actually, once a week. And I've been on that once a week deadline, as you guys know, every Sunday for the last, probably pretty much close to that full 3 years. I'm heading into my 4th year of YouTube now. It's October. You can definitely see a change in my editing style, my equipment, the quality of the production over the years. It's hard for me to go back and watch all those videos because it's always weird watching yourself, and especially because I watch myself so much during the editing process. I kind of don't want to go back and watch them. But yeah, it's really interesting. I started back in August 2015. How did I choose my channel name? I created the WildYam username, I think back in 2009 when I, signed on to have my own YouTube account, and I've used it on other platforms as well. Basically, Wild Yam is an herbal supplement that herbalists would use for women's medicine, and it has a lot of plant estrogens. So I thought, it's sort of a representation of, women in the outdoors. So I thought, hey, why not? This would be a good name for the channel. How long do you plan to make videos? I think I'll make videos as long as people want to continue to watch them. I mean, I think I'll always make videos is the answer to that question. Whether I make them public or not will really depend. It will really depend on, the YouTube platform and how that evolves. It'll depend on, do people want to watch my videos anymore? I know, there's always a season for everything, and perhaps my channel over time will become, not as relevant as it was, or, may not be as interesting to folks on the YouTube platform. So that's going to really dictate how long I keep the channel going publicly, but I think I'll always be making videos. It's really a great hobby to have. And it's a great journal for me to see my progress over my lifetime in terms of my life skills, my bush skills, and sort of what I get up to so that everybody can see what I'm doing. Do you make your own thumbnails? Of course, this is the funnest aspect of, and probably like the easiest task in terms of the video production is making the thumbnail for YouTube. Some geese flying south overhead. I use an app called PicMonkey, and I use, a combination of, text and photo to really represent what's going on in the video. I don't like misleading people as to what's in the videos. Sometimes I get really creative and I have a lot of fun with the titles for the videos. My favorite one was Frozen Assets. A lot of people, took it one way, but actually I meant it another way. A little play on words there for that video. But, it wasn't misrepresenting the video. There was, that's exactly what I meant it to say. So, have a lot of fun with it. If you're, in the YouTube community, making thumbnails is awesome. It really directs people to your channel. I love showcasing my photographs and using my artistic talents to make something that someone's going to want to click on at the end of the day. Do you make your own intros and outros? Yes, I do. I think that's really important to do that as well, just so that it's a signature piece for your channel to do that. I got the idea really from PineMartyn, who tagged me in this video. He was one of the first people I started watching online, and of course he has the White-Throated Sparrow song as his intro, and that's characteristic. I know if I hear that, that's PineMartyn's video. Or a bird at the feeder, I guess. And when you hear my video come on, you hear the whippoorwill, which is a signature bird in our region, in by the cabin. They are a very threatened species, and I'm always thrilled when I hear them. So I wanted something to signal, this is a wild yam production, and it's a short intro. I think long intros sometimes people scrub through them, so I want to make a really nice short intro. It's me. I'm coming up with the latest and greatest this week. The outro, basically is just another way to kind of end the video. I just put my contact information on there, obviously, in my social media for people that want to know a little bit more about what I'm up to on my other platforms. And I'm thinking of changing that up a little bit. I like doing the music, I feel like it's a little bit, like watching a TV show when you get the music at the end and the credits. Obviously right now all the credits would go to me for my production, so I don't list things like that, just my social media. But yep, I do make my own intros and outros. What video equipment do you use? Well, that sort of evolved over time. For the longest time, I had a camera, and you guys have known this, early on in my production, as the Canon SX50HS. And that one, I know you guys remember, I believe it was around this time last year, I was filming, and it rolled out of my pocket and into the river by the cabin. And unfortunately, despite taking it apart, drying it out thoroughly, it still had a lens error and wouldn't work. So that was devastating. I had that camera for many years, and it worked very well. I was happy with it. The SX series, it's great, you can take photographs. There's super zoom camera, so I could zoom in on the wildlife that I wanted to see, and it recorded video. My last camera didn't have a way to plug in a microphone for my audio, so a lot of the time in the early stages of my channel I either wasn't doing the audio properly, and so you had a lot of wind noise, which is really quite honestly hard to listen to even for me on my own channel when it happened. So I wanted something different, so maybe it was a blessing in disguise that camera didn't do very well and didn't dry out and died. So I mean, thanks to you guys, actually all of your support and clicking on the ads and stuff like that actually allowed me to buy the camera that I'm filming with today. It's the Canon SX60HS, and it is a super zoom camera as well with onboard microphone capacity, and it also has ability for me to plug in a lavalier mic, which is what I use right now. The other camera that I have that I film with is a GoPro Hero 4. It's an older GoPro, but it does the job on a rainy day, or if I'm out in the water getting some cool underwater shots. That camera really does the job for me. It's also very good in low lighting conditions where the Canon is not. So sometimes you'll notice I'll switch cameras late fall in the winter to using the GoPro. I have a way to attach a microphone to that as well. I find the GoPro's microphones don't really work very well, as the older series don't, so you need to have another microphone plugged into them. I also film with my cell phone sometimes. That provides a really good quality picture. I find the stabilization isn't great, and the audio, even though I plug in with a lav, it doesn't really, doesn't really do it for me. But it's the Samsung S9 Plus, and it takes great photos, like really great quality photos. Almost like an SLR. But and very portable, so it's really handy to have along if I'm taking pictures, say for Instagram and stuff like that. And if I'm in the bush and I see something cool but I forgot my regular camera, I'll film with a cell phone. It's also a little bit better in lower lighting conditions as well, and so again, winter, I'll probably use it. We'll see how the battery holds up. These cell phones and even the camera that I have right now, the winter is really hard on equipment. If you're in the outdoors community on YouTube, they're all made of like plastic and some low quality materials, so they are going to break, so you got to be prepared for that. I've lost a lot of equipment in the filming process over the years. In terms of audio, so I use a lavalier microphone. It's hidden in my jacket right here. It's really essential if you're filming outdoors, especially for wind noise. I find, it's really difficult. Today we've got 20-kilometer-an-hour wind gusts, and it'd be really hard to hear me without this microphone. The other microphone I have is a Rode microphone, and it's got a plug-in directly to my camera. And right now it's got like sort of this muff on it right here. This is called a dead cat in the industry, I guess. This goes on when the wind is really high and I can't body mic, or I need to be farther away from the camera. It picks up right, from the front. I find if I stand behind it, obviously the audio is not that great, but it has an area right around here at the front that you can hear me with. So sometimes, that video where I was in the bush, I was making a fire. I think that was one of my little adventures there. I had this on there because it was windy, and I didn't want to have be lassoed to a lavalier basically by the fire. I didn't think that was a great idea. So this is really a good option. Now the Canon SX50 and the SX60 HS, they both have really good onboard microphones. I don't think it's any better quality than one of these, but there's just no way to get rid of that wind noise except for having something like this on there. Otherwise I would get completely blown out by the wind noise and you wouldn't hear me at all. Another piece of equipment I use for my audio is the Tascam DR05. This is an audio recorder, but I can plug in my lavalier microphone. So when I'm really far away from the camera, several meters away, planting a tree and talking to you or something like that, what I need is a sound to sound very clear, and my camera won't pick up that far away, neither will the Rode microphone. So with the lavalier microphone plugged into the Tascam, I put the Tascam in my pocket, and then I'll synchronize the sound later between the onboard camera that's always recording the sound and this unit right here. So it sounds like I'm really right next to the microphone, which I am. I've got the lavalier microphone on, but I'm just not right in front of the camera. That really helps, when you want to show somebody something, but you're really far away from the camera, you don't have to shout. So I really like this, the Tascam DR5. There's lots of different applications for this. Sometimes I've used it to, record sounds, when I was at that midnight at the swamp video. I have a little dead cat thing to go over top of it as well, so I don't get wind noise. And, I was recording the sounds of the frogs. So I really think it's a valuable thing to have one of these audio recorders, even if you're just recording nature sounds or background for your videos. So that's some of the equipment that I use. Of course, I got a multitude of different ways to hold on to the camera. I've got little grips for the trees to hang on to the branches so that the camera can sort of see what I'm doing. I've got tripods and monopods and things like that. So you can really get pretty tricked out with all your gear. I try to keep it basic going through the woods because honestly, if you're doing outdoor videos, it's really hard, schlepping all your equipment around as well as trying to just have fun in the woods and the gear you need anyway to go and do some stuff. In terms of video editing software, I use Pinnacle 21. It's just one I picked up, I think, at one of the local computer store or something like that. It's okay. It's not amazing. It glitches out a lot. It gives me stress sometimes, but you know what? It's easy. Once you get used to it, I can work with it. It's fine. I'll probably graduate to something else in the future, but for now, it was in my price point range and it does the job. One final question I'm going to add on is what advice do you have for people who want to start their own YouTube channel? Well, my advice is to do something that you love doing, that you're passionate about. If you start a channel about something that you don't know a lot about, that you're really not that into, you're not going to want to keep up with it. It is a lot of work. It takes hours to put together a production that you see on a weekly basis, at least for my channel, to go out, to film the content, to come home, edit the content so that it's interesting. It takes a while. So, if you're not passionate about your topic, you're really going to burn out really fast. You're not going to do it. I recommend posting on a regular basis, so pick a time, a deadline. It keeps you focused and it keeps your viewers excited to see a new production from you. So I go on a weekly basis. That's a bit intense, but if you want to go every 2 weeks, every month, that's fine. I just recommend staying on schedule. You don't have to have really expensive equipment to get started. A lot of people have a cell phone or just an old camera laying around that has some video capability. Just get started, start playing around with it. You don't even have to go public with your videos. Get used to your editing software, get used to the equipment itself. It doesn't have to be fancy schmancy, it doesn't have to be hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Just use what you have, or maybe you can borrow from a local video recording library, or I think some universities and places, you can rent out cameras just to see if you like doing it in the first place before you invest in some of your own equipment if you don't have any. I also recommend that you watch a lot of professional production videos and videos that you like the quality of and try to emulate that. I think with video production it's not a race to the bottom. I think we should always continue to try improving with video recording. I think when you start out you're not going to be great at it, but over time you should strive to improve your channel and the quality of video production that you put out there. It makes a really enjoyable experience for your subscribers. And so I would watch a lot of movies and just some other more professional productions. People had gone to film school and stuff like that, just to see how they do the cuts, how they work the audio, how they do the transition scenes for some of their videos. So I've been learning. It's a process, and I've hoped to pass on what I've learned in my videos. My videos aren't perfect, and I've got a lot of growing to do, but it's a really fun hobby for me, and I hope to continue to improve my production for you guys. Certainly, you know, when you start a YouTube channel, you're going to get lots of comments, some positive, some negative. So I encourage everyone to respond to comments. I think it's great to get a sense of community, to get to know everybody that, you know, you're filming for, to know what they like, what they don't like with your channel. I know I've gotten to know a lot of you guys over the last 3 years, and I really appreciate the friendships online and just the positivity that I've been getting. I'm really, really fortunate that way. Certainly, you know, as a YouTube creator, you will end up with some negative comments, and I certainly get my fair share of negative comments. Some people can be very toxic, racist, sexist, and those kind of comments I don't tolerate, and you shouldn't tolerate either. Those people get blocked and they aren't allowed to comment anymore. So make friends with the block button. It can be very therapeutic when you get someone who's extremely nasty on your channel. But you know, thank gosh I don't have to use that very often. I have such a great community in you guys, so I really, really thank you for that. But for those of you starting out, don't worry, you will get the thumbs down, you will get those negative comments, but don't let that stop you from doing what you want to do. Of course, you're not going to please everybody, but just keep doing what's true to you, and that's really important, especially if you're doing something you're passionate about. Those kind of comments, they just brush right off, like water off a duck's back. So keep going, even though you may get some negative feedback. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and learned a little bit more about my channel, a little bit more about the backstory of it. Thought it was a really awesome tag, so thanks PineMartyn. I want to tag a few other people because I want to learn a bit more about, you know, why they got into YouTube as well. And I mean, they're welcome to do the tags or not. It's totally up to you. I want to tag Offgrid.se, Gunn, Bushcraft, and Bushway. So those are all great channels as well. You should check them out. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me down below in the comments. I'm thinking of putting together another question and answer video. Obviously, I don't get, you know, into too many personal questions, but if you have any questions about the channel or, you know, what I'm doing or the cabin, please put them down below. Well, I'm going to continue on my little hike through the park here today. I hope you guys have a wonderful week as always. Got a lot of exciting things coming up. I'm heading out on a canoe trip in the backcountry very soon, so you'll see some videos coming up about that. Have a good one. Take care.